Hello. This is something that is so needed. So, what are two things that men always tell me in the therapy room that they want in a woman? So, a lot of women are going to say they want me to be thin, or I have to be pretty, or money. A lot of women will have a lot of different types of criteria that they put on themselves or that they're listening to from commercials or any kind of advertising, actually, including other women. And really, it is, oh my gosh, speaking of men, hey, Christian. So, what men tend to say in the therapy room that they want in a woman has nothing to do actually with, I mean, of course, okay, let me take that back. It doesn't mean, when I say it doesn't have to do with what she looks like, it doesn't mean that they are going after just somebody with just a good personality. Okay. So they want someone who, number one, takes care of themselves. So that's important. So you know what? If she has a little extra weight, that's okay, they say. They want a woman, though, who is working out, who is attempting to take care of herself, of her health. They want someone who, if she does dye her hair, if she goes to a salon or does it out of a box, whatever it is, they don't want to see her where there's 3 inches of gray showing or, you know, dark roots or whatever it is. They don't want to see that because that's sort of an unkempt look. And they feel like if you're not feeling attractive about yourself, they don't even want to be involved. And you know what? That's actually true because that's your persona that you're giving out there. Now it's different if you're sick or something. So I'm sounding right here like I'm talking about the superficial, but it's really not superficial. How you feel about yourself is how you're going to project to the world. And if you feel like you don't care what you look like at all, or you don't care about your weight, or you've given up, or you're just wearing big sweatshirts to cover yourself up, then why would you think that someone else is going to find you attractive? Okay. Now what happens here? Let me back up and tell you what happens. So I get women in the therapy room who are doing that sometimes. They're wearing the big sweatshirts. They're not caring about themselves. They feel like they have no attraction at all. And they'll tell me that they don't find anyone else attractive. They don't care about anything romantic, nothing. Okay. So that happens. And then what they do is they'll go on Match.com or they'll go on Tinder or wherever it is, Plenty of Fish. And then they're already depressed. They're already not feeling good about themselves. And all of a sudden, they are attracting these like low denominator guys and they don't understand why. Then these low denominator guys are only speaking to them sexually and they're feeling desperate and they're saying, okay, so I guess I'm going to have to do that, you know, and do this like weird sexual depressed flirting thing. And all of a sudden, they're feeling like they are being used. And you know what? They are being used, but it's not the guy doing it. It's they are using themselves. They're putting themselves out there and saying, I am not worthy. So what I want you to think about as a female, if you're single, is raise your standards of yourself. Don't focus on men. So the number one thing that men will say in the therapy room is, I want her to take care of herself. This goes for married men as well. Even if they're coming in for a little bit of a conflict about something else, sometimes it is just about that, you know, he might bring up she doesn't take care of herself. Women tend to be more forgiving of a man with a pot belly and all of that kind of thing going on. They are just more forgiving of it, it seems, in the therapy room at least. So men tend to be less forgiving of a woman who's not taking care of herself. Again, it has nothing to do with if she has extra weight. I have seen women who are very, very thin, who are very sloppy, and the men are very unhappy. And by society, these women have it, okay? And I've seen women that were much bigger who really are together and they're beautiful and their weight is not the definition of their value. They just have some extra weight. It could be very natural and that's okay. So as long as they love themselves and they are taking care of themselves, that's all that matters. So don't think that when I'm saying take care of yourself, I'm talking about weight. In fact, if you do think it's about weight, that is probably a problem that you have that is technically either orthorexia or any kind of anorexia, binging, whatever. You might be in the eating disorder land where your value is on your weight. And if that's true, that's not good. That's a whole nother video. But it is so important that what I mean by taking care of yourself is, actually, I don't even know that I'm doing it today. I did brush my teeth. That's good. But it means, wearing clothes that make you feel good. When you go into the closet, don't just pick out an outfit because you feel like, oh, it's a comfortable day. I'm not going to see anyone. I'll just throw a sweatshirt on. If you're going to do that, at least have a decent sweatshirt. Don't wear something that's just disgusting, okay? Last year, and as a matter of fact, I went through my closet at anything that was just dowdy but comfortable. I got rid of everything. So normally on a day like today, where I'm actually not seeing clients face to face, that would have been a sweatshirt day. But now it's a white turtleneck day because I only want to wear things that kind of match what I call my vibration. So if my vibe is that I wake up in the morning and I want to be comfortable, but I don't necessarily want to look like I rolled out of bed, then I'm going to have something that is comfortable that I think looks nice. So that is what I mean by taking care of yourself. Just have some self-esteem, grab clothes that give you some kind of a vibration of how you want to feel in the daytime. You'll probably match it. So in the morning, if you wake up and you're feeling like the sweatshirt's the way to go, find something else that's comfortable, jazz it up a little bit, care about yourself, care about how you project to the outside world, because it's not about superficial, it's about how you feel about yourself. So now the number 2 thing, and this is a huge thing, okay? Huge. If you haven't paid attention or if you've been rolling your eyes during the other stuff, tough shit, this is what you need to do. You need to have your own life. I see so many women that come into therapy and they maybe live for their husbands, or they live for their children, or they live for the person they were just dating, and everything is about them. And they really don't have a whole lot going on. Every now and then they might go out with girlfriends, but they really don't have a hobby. They really don't have a passion. And that's it. Their just whole life is about that. And especially when women come in and they'll say, oh, I met somebody online. I met him on, I'll just say Match.com, whatever. I met him on Match.com and everything's great. And everything is about, he was talking to me and he said that, he wants to keep an open relationship. He wants to play the field. And I told him it's okay. I don't need to have anything commitment. And I'm thinking, what, were you talking to him 13 minutes and all of a sudden he's telling you all of these rules and regulations? No, he's just like a get him away. Just get him away immediately. Because if you have your own life, when you hear that kind of talk, you're just going to say, I don't think so. You're just not going to even want to deal with that. Have your own life. If you are just sort of, and I see this a lot with single moms, you're already busy. I get it. You have your children and you probably have your job. And yes, total red flags. And when you have your job or your children, okay, it is easy for a woman to say, I'm too tired, or or my hobby is Facebook, or my hobby is, I garden in the spring, okay, or something like that. No, you need way more in your life. Having 1 or 2 things is not a hobby. And unless you're really hardcore with it, if you're in an astronomy club and you hang out with the astronomy club people and you're always kind of looking at the sky and looking up things, and you have lots to talk about with the environment, politics, and other things in conjunction to and in relation to astronomy, that's awesome. But if you garden in spring and pick tomatoes in August, that's a hobby. But it's not going to carry you as far as having your own life all of the time. A TV show is not a hobby. Social networking is not a hobby. Scrolling on your phone is not a hobby. They're vices, they're habits, they're entertainment for you. They're probably more so distraction for you, but they are not hobbies. So you need to make sure that you have hobbies and a life of your own, because that is what, whether you are single or married, that is what I hear in the therapy room, that men actually find attractive in a woman. So if you're in a relationship already, so say you're married or you're with somebody and you're doing the whole I work and I come home and I cook and I clean and I have the kids, I don't have time for anything else. Well, you know what? I actually know neurosurgeons who are female who have had children, from their loins, and they have hobbies. So unless you are an on-call neurosurgeon who I know one particular who has twins, okay? She has time to have hobbies. Sometimes people just have time management issues, or you might feel like you don't have the money for something. You have to be creative. If you don't have the finances, if you don't have the budget, you need to whittle down where you're spending your time and energy and your finances. So I always tell people, where you actually are spending most of your time and money is actually your priority. So if your time and money is going towards stopping at Wawa because you don't feel like cooking, that's your priority. If you say that you want to get healthy and you want to learn how to cook, and you're not buying cookbooks, or you're not taking a cooking class, or you're not even just scrolling for free online on YouTube or wherever, then that's not really your focus. So you need to make what you're saying and what you're doing to be the same thing. So that's really important. So those are the two things. And believe it or not, it has nothing to do with, is she sexy? Is her stomach flat? Is her butt high enough? All of those kind of things. That doesn't matter as much. So I just want you to know that, be very aware, and this is for the women, be very aware and wary of men who immediately are being sexual towards you. Because women who have very low self-esteem that I see in the therapy room, they tend to think that flirting is affirmation. And flirting's okay a little bit, but if the conversation never goes past what he wants to do to you and what you might do to him and blah, 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 like you're both 13 years old, like if it doesn't go past that after like 4 seconds and it doesn't go into any more depth, lose him. You don't need affirmation by a bottom feeder who's just looking to use you and make you feel worse about yourself, because then you're not going to, he can't be your hobby, and being someone's side dish can't be your hobby. So I want you to understand that real attraction comes from being incredibly empowered, and being empowered has a lot to do with you having your own life. So taking care of yourself, having your own life, having your own hobbies, and being this like very full person who, when you meet someone, then they're sort of thinking like, oh, I can't just treat her horrible. I'm not going to just flirt with her. She's not going to go for that. She cares about herself and she has her own life. So that's not going to work. So again, I just need to regurgitate here, because some women have a really hard time with this. If you're busy and you have a full-time job and you have children, that's awesome. That's life. But they are not your hobbies. If you're tired at night, that's okay, but maybe you need to knit. Maybe your hobby needs to be meditation if you're too tired to get up and move around. That's self-care and it's a hobby. Figure out something that you can do that it's all about you. It's not about anyone else. You might share it with someone else, but it's really not about someone else. Women tend to give too much, and society and often parents have this thing of, like boys will be boys, but little girls are very good when they're very quiet. They're good little girls and they're quiet and they are compromising more. But compromising is kind of a negative thing, because compromising means you're sacrificing something. So it's better to share than to compromise. So these are just some tidbits I'm trying to get out in one shot, because I see so much of women who don't have a clue what men actually really want. And they might go through relationships that are not really great. And, and of course, yes, men are visual. So are women. I hate when people say like men are visual, so they like good looking people. Well, what are we, like Helen Keller over here? Like, women are actually visual too, and we like good looking people. But women are also in the mindset that the man can look however he wants and we have to cater to him. And I want you guys to take that back. I don't even care if you're married for 30 years, take that back. Have standards. And yes, you should be taking care of yourself, but so should he. You should have your own hobbies in life, so should he. So if you meet someone and his hobby seems to be hitting on women, being a player, or, everything is just going out with the guys and partying, whatever, and I'm still seeing this, and I'm 50, and I'm still seeing this with people, he's probably not for you. Now, if you're already with somebody like that, and you're feeling like you have low self-esteem, and you're feeling like, and I'm going to go into a touchy subject right now, if you're in a relationship where it's not very physical, or it's physical and you're not being satisfied, and he's just sort of making you feel like you're a blow-up doll, okay? I don't want you to feel that you are not worthy, okay? And sometimes a more narcissistic, self-centered guy, or old school, as we call it, will act like that. You can still, if you're married, even if you've been married a long time, you can still make changes in the relationship. Now, how do you do that? You do not drag him to therapy, although I would love all of you to come do therapy with me. You don't do that. You actually start with yourself. So you maybe just alone go to therapy and find out what it is that, who you really are. Are you someone that needs to travel more? Do you want to take up a certain hobby? Do you need to switch careers? Do you need to parent differently, eat differently? Start working on yourself, because what happens is, if one person is in therapy, okay, that person who starts to make changes creates a domino effect. Your partner has no choice but to make some kind of changes to adapt to the new you as you are going through transformation. So when that happens, I mean, I often tell people you don't really need couples therapy if it's a minor issue. You just need to go yourself and just make the changes that make you happy, and allow some time, and we navigate through allowing your partner to change. So anyway, that is what I have to say about that. So they are the two things that help men to feel that you are more attractive, and it's really about you feeling better about yourself. So, hey, Shazzy. So I'm going to go right now. And if you have any questions, definitely inbox them. I know my page is more sensitive because it's about relationships. So inbox them or email me, michelle@michellepava.com. Thank you. All the hearts. Mwah! So, the reason why I would like you to email or inbox is because it can be more sensitive, and we are definitely, I get my ideas from you guys when you inbox or email me, and also when I discuss different things with people in my sessions. So thank you, Chris. I haven't seen you in a while, Chris, so text me and let me know what's going on. So thank you very much, everyone, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.